Hey y'all. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. Old school R&B gonna hit every time, every single time. Hey y'all. Hola, hola. Hey. Good evening. So it's been a real crazy day over here. So I figured I'd get back to y'all because I said I was going to. Hey, let me put my my goodness, put my eyes on. Hey, hola, 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 hola. When did I get back home? I've been home a minute, almost a month now. We we coming up on about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks. We coming up on now. I think I don't know. It's been about 3 weeks. I think. Yeah, because I think I got home the fourth or the fifth or something. I don't know around that time. Hey, everybody that I didn't see because I don't got my eyeballs on yet. Hold on. Maybe one thing CERCA is gonna be is hard on some lenses. Now the frames we gonna be good, but the lenses, yeah, they need to make something else. They need to make something else. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Is this volume up? I don't know. Okay. Oh, it's real. Let me know if I'm too loud. Okay. So, hey, we didn't get to finish last night. I got a little bit, about 35, 45 minutes. So I figured we'll finish reading what I was going to finish last night and I had planned to get to earlier today, but I didn't get a chance to do so. So if y'all open what we were supposed to finish reading yesterday, I'd like to read that. And then it is what it is after that. Oh, we're going to read what we're going to read and then we'll talk about it. That's what we, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. So, how many of you were able to go to the website and get access to the Old Testament Pygrapha 2.0 Book 2 last night? I know some of y'all was having some trouble getting it or accessing it. Some of y'all found it on WeLib, WELIB is in boy.org. Did y'all get a chance to find it? Because I know they playing with our lives and everything, honey. Yes, no. Did some of y'all get a chance to go grab it? Did you turn the comments on, girl? No, you didn't. Well, there they are. You didn't. Oh, okay. Well, to those of you that did, that's where we're going to be reading from. Okay. You did get a chance to. Okay. That's what we're going back there. You got the New Testament. Okay. All right. So then that's just a no. No, it's not that book. It's not that book. Ooh, my eyeballs be itching. It's this one. I don't know if you can see that. It's not the same one. It's more scriptures. There's a total of 7 books now, and not just the 2 yellow ones that we read out of. Hey, Phaedra, are you on YouTube and over here too? Are you on both? Or am I talking to two different phases? Are you on both of these? Or do we have two Phaedras? So I know I just saw that on here somewhere. Okay, so we got two Phaedras? Do we? Okay. Now you know I don't be lifting no books up, and once I show them, that's it. But you do know where you can go rewind and get it, cause I'll be showing it a million times. I'm gonna do it for you this time, but you've been around a long time. You know I don't be picking no books up and putting them up and putting them up. You know that started way back when. Ain't nothing changed. You know I'm not gonna keep doing that. Here we go. Screenshot. Come on. You said, dang, YouTube was tripping, couldn't chat it out. Welcome back, beloved. Hey, Pumpkin, you said, when you get a chance, can you show the book on this side? Yes. Okay, so Teresa, I wasn't talking to you when I said that. There you go. I showed the thing, if you miss it, I showed it last night. So you can go to last night's class. Okay. All right. That's how we got kicked out. Ain't that crazy? Moving on. It is what it is. I'm not even going. So can I play a breaking F the news? Y'all know I mean y'all didn't heard me drop an F bomb before, but he be telling us the news. Can we actually it's not him. Actually it's Aaron Parnings. Never mind. Here we go. Oh, excuse me. Are you ready? If you heard this somewhere before, just say yes. Okay? If you heard this something similar to this before, just say yes. That's all I need you to do. Hey T. If you heard something similar to what I'm about to play, I just need you to say yes. Okay? We have a bombshell right now. The Department of Justice quietly changed a rule to give Todd Blanche, the Attorney General of the United States, complete discretion over which prisons a federal inmate can serve time in. Essentially, if you oppose the Trump administration, you can now be sent to maximum security prison simply because Blanche wants you to. This has been uncovered by Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney, and according to Liz, this inmate can serve time in. Essentially, if you oppose the Trump administration, you can now be sent to maximum security prison simply because Blanche wants you to. This has been uncovered by Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney, and according to Liz, this new rule change would allow Todd Blanche to have discretion to send individuals facing federal prison sentences to any prison that he may want. So if you are protesting ICE, she says, you can be sent to a maximum security prison alongside murderers, simply because that's what the Attorney General may want. But if you align with the Trump administration and you have a ton of money to spend, you could buy your way to a halfway house or a lower security prison. That, according to Liz Oyer. Pretty significant stuff. This new rule change went into effect quietly, and the world needs to know about it, so spread the word. Y'all heard anything familiar or similar to that anywhere? Anybody? Yes. How about y'all? Interesting. Interesting. No, you haven't, Teresa? You haven't? You have T? Pertaining to freedom of speech not being a thing anymore? Yes. Okay. WOIU. Yeah. Uh, God told us that opposing the coming leader and not watching what you say was going to be getting you in a place where you don't want to be. And you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Every single day, God shows us why we needed to learn a different way to say it. Yes or no? Hey, Pumpkin. People that are telling the truth are being silenced. Who understands now why I was kicking people out of my class that act like they couldn't get it and just kept typing whatever they want and talking crazy like I can say whatever I want? I can. Oh, okay, well, you won't be over here. It's 4.5 years later. And the very lesson that I believe that God was teaching me to teach people is very, very valuable right now. Especially since AI is reading every text, email, call, recording every call. You don't think that's important right now? You don't think it's important right now to be able to say something without saying it and help hope people understand? Seeing as how now every single text, call, movement you have and everything else is being recorded. Who remembers the movie Thief in the Night? You remember the old man at the table? You remember the young lady that was sitting at the table with the old man? Hey, Orvaline. She put everybody in jeopardy because she talked too much, she shared too much information, and she didn't check the sources out and look for certain things to know if this person was safe to talk to. We come into the same time. We're in the same time. When God does whatever he's going to do, right? You're going to have to be very careful about your movements, being so friendly, talking loud, saying exactly every single thing that you mean. It's not You're not going to be able to do that. It's not going to be safe. So, folks, it was like, she's rude. You don't get how serious this is. It could cost you and your children, hey, their lives if you don't listen. And I'm not talking about to me, I'm just saying in general. God is sending out information that is going to be valuable. And folks is like, I can do whatever I want. Okay, well, keep thinking whatever you want to think. It's fine. That don't mean laws and stuff ain't being passed and things are not being done right in our face, and folks is worried about stuff that don't matter. All I'm saying is God has been warning us, and every single day that I turn on my phone and look through there, it's, oh, well, let's just go here first. Okay. So if you got OTP 2.0 access, PDF, real book, whatever, that's where we at. We're going back to where we was at last night. Just because you can't can doesn't mean you should. Sarah, yes. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And if more people would learn that, the world would be a better place in real life. But people feel like because they can, that they should. And that is the problem. Hey, all right. So last night we were on page, we ended on page 476. Hey, Pumpkin. And we're in the second set of Old Testament pseudepigraphas, the newer ones. Hey, Pumpkin. And we're on page, the second set of OTPs and in book 2 of that set. So not our normal ones, not the yellow ones. We're in the other ones. And if you have it on PDF, I need you to go there and get it, please. Okay. And we just going back to where we was at last night. They aren't, but they are on welib.org. LaRon came in and told us last night where we can read all of them except for book 5. I didn't even know that there was a book 4 or something. I don't know. But the New Testament Apocrypha and hold on. It's WEL as in Larry, I as in Igloo, B as in boy.org. So, and we learned last night that the cover is white and gold. It's not these colors, but you can read the New Testament. Now, you can't download them, they said, unless you pay, but I guess they free, you know, when we get over to places they get to doing weird stuff. So, the New Testament Apocrypha, both of these, and then both of the Old Testament Apocryphas, the newer version of it, you can read on there, is what LaRon said. And some people got in there last night. So, this is the one we're going to be in today. Not to be confused with this one. These are not the same books. So this used to be our only book 2. Now it's 2 of them. You're welcome. Um, they said if you put the author in, it'll come right up. So if you type in James R. Davila, Davila, it should come right up, nephew. And you looking for book 2. WeLive.org if you want to get the, what's the name? Ooh. Well, and okay. Y'all need a few minutes to those of you that are going to download it. Ooh. Yes, no. There you go. How about you put your eyes on there? You don't got to squint, girl. Yes, no. I'm okay. Is there anybody else that needs to download them? Okay. All right. We'll take your time. Because it's the thing. I want you guys to have access to it. The girl. Davila. Davila or Davia. You said you can download it, but there's a limit. Then you have to wait an hour, but it will let you download after that. Thank you. See? Okay. Well, everybody gonna do what you gotta do then. I'm gonna give y'all 5 minutes. Don't be on there looking around. Get the book you supposed to get, and you can go back and look later. Cause I think that's why I was taking everybody. Everybody was just looking through all the books. No, put the author in, okay, and get on to the book, and then you can go on there and be hunting later. Come on. We was waiting about 55 minutes last night. No, we're not waiting on that. Go get the book from the library and bring your tail back to your seat. Come on, get your paper and stuff. Cause I know how y'all do. I know how y'all do. Mm-mm. You said I'm screaming because I just got distracted. Mm-hmm. Janice, anything that you missed, you can hop over on YouTube and rewind it back. We are at 22 minutes and 12 seconds. Just go to YouTube real quick, go in the live, and rewind it, honey. Because I'm not going to do that all class. I'm not. I promise. Mm-mm. You must not have been here in a while. You ain't been here in a while? Because we don't do that no more. Everybody already know where to go. When they miss something, they go right on over here to YouTube and rewind because you can rewind while we live. You said as soon as I opened it, like a kid in a candy shop. Okay. Love you. But yeah, you can find out all that information. Okay. So go on and get the book, get your pen, get your paper, get a tablet or something. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I don't be doing all that no more. We record on YouTube. I love you. We record on YouTube. Whatever you miss, if it's a book, if it's a scripture, you just hop on YouTube and grab it real quick. All right, y'all. Sorry. Y'all found it? Y'all found it? How do you clean up when there's no space to put anything? Jesus. All right. Here we go. Okay. So we left off at the rain will not come down from heaven, the sun's light will fade, I believe. Wait a minute. Nope. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we on page 476. We talked about the darkness, the gloom, and all of that. Evil will abound among those who dwell in the world. The earth will withhold its fruits and the mountains their vegetation. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Oh, excuse me. Let's do a little science real quick. If y'all open to doing a little science. Yes. No. All right. When fruit and vegetation is growing or blooming, what does it do for the ecosystem that it's in? Like, are there gases that are given off other than pollen? We know that. What other benefits to having budding vegetation and fruits and vegetables, like for the area that it's in? What does it do for the ecosystem that it's in? Right? So, like the trees, when they're flowering, do they put off certain gases that are good, bad? Fruit, other than attracting other animals and keeping them alive, we know that. But as far as like the chemical process of what happens when fruit is growing on trees, or we know for a fact that trees filter the air. That's the easy one. We learned that as kids. We're not using that. Is there anything else that happens? Right. We know that. We know it clean the air. That's the simple one. Come on. I need y'all to go looking. Mm-hmm. Not getting off that easy. Yeah, all the stuff we learned in regular school, no, you can't use none of that. What else happens? So, like, if the apple, orange, pear, and all cherry trees, if they stop producing fruit, what does that do for the air? What does that do for the ground around there? What does it do? Is there anything that even happens? It might not be anything, but maybe it is. Onions pull mold out of the air. Did not know that. I knew they pulled toxins, but I didn't know that they pulled mold. Okay. All right. Vegetation absorbs atmospheric carbon, which helps mitigate climate change. Ooh! On a localized scale, plants provide vital shade and release water vapor. Okay. What is that? Of Evaporation, transpiration. I know I'm not saying that right. To cool the surrounding air. Evapotran, spiration, whatever you call it, to the surrounding air. Oh, okay. Evapotranspiration. That is a crazy word. And these eyes don't be working the way they used to either. I'm gonna have to get my weight up again. Okay. I know I didn't say that right. It's okay. So if we don't have any vegetables, and if we don't, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what y'all evapotranspiration. What in the heck? Who the hell comes up with these words? I gotta go back over there. Excuse me. Listen, I had to go back. Evapotranspiration. Okay, I don't like that they just make up. It is. You're right. And the nigga eyes ain't been working like they need to for the last year and a half. What the heck? But we got it. Okay. So if there's no vegetables, listen, I'm gonna sound a word out. I'm telling you, even if it's listen. These computers is making us not have to do our work, and I've been using them, and you can tell. Here we go. So with that, now that we know that if there is no fruit and onions and all of these different things, our ecosystems And the whether it be nationally, internationally, or locally, there's going to be too much carbon in the air, there's going to be too much mold in the air, and whatever else. Okay, there won't be enough moisture, which is going to cause fires, right? So reading that, you would think plant roots anchor the dirt, oh, preventing erosion from wind, water, while minimizing stormwater runoff, and downstream flooding. So the roots help the dirt stay stabilized. They also help absorb some of the water. If the fruit is not budding, we're going to have too much carbon and other things in the air. Onions, mold is not good for your lungs. We know this. For your nasal passages, for none of that. Your airways, no good. Did you realize that when it said right here, uh, that the earth will withhold its fruit and the mountains their vegetation? Did you think that that would be a real big deal, other than us being able to eat and get shade? Did you? You just thought, okay, we ain't gonna be able to get no vegetables or no fruit. But did you know that it changes the air around you if the earth stops producing fruit? Hey, did you know? Did you know that it would be, because I didn't know it would be too much carbon. I knew it was something, but I didn't know exactly what. I know that it does change the air and the ecosystem around it. Okay? Something so simple. No vegetation and no fruit and vegetables is not just starvation. It has everything to do with the air that you breathe, the moisture you feel on your skin. If we go back up, it said God was going to withhold the dew. Do you know how many plants and trees and it makes sense we need that to survive? Come on. Think about this. Who remembers me showing y'all the pictures of every blade of grass in the morning, and I said it looked like little bitty diamonds or lights on every blade of grass, and I've taken pictures and you can see just millions of little bitty balls, and it's like, that's crazy that there's a bead of grass or more on each and every blade of grass in the yard, right? They show us that Tinkerbell does that, but we know that the mist, one bead. So if don't no water get sprayed on it all day, that one bead is going to roll down to the base and give nutrients, at least one drop of water every day. But most plants have more than one, blade or leaf or whatever it is. And then to think about the fact that trees, most of them at night or when the temperature changes, their leaves curl up and collect water. And then it's absorbed through the leaf and down into the base of the tree. So if there's no water, there's no roots, there's no vegetation, there's no fruit, what is our world going to look like? Mind you, it's already been dark already. We read that yesterday. Volcanoes are going to be going off, spewing ash. We looked up that ash can start spewing up to 2 to 3 weeks prior to the volcano erupting. So you said dried up. So if there's ash spewing in the air, covering the sun, the air quality is going to be bad. If the trees are not producing leaves to filter the air, you said, like it did in the movie The Book of Eli. Here we go. Okay. When we talk about preparing our minds to see things that we've never seen before, that's one of them, y'all. We know the leaves being bare during winter, but we've never seen every single tree bare, because even in the winter, pine trees and different trees, I don't know all the trees, some trees keep their leaves, not all of them drop them, or their needles, or whatever else it is that they have. But have you ever walked for or drove for 20 miles and not one tree, not one bush had any type of green anything on it? Because you got to think about it. Even cactuses be green and they have flowers. So what if every single cactus don't got no cactus flowers on it? It don't got no little pricklies on it. It's just brown and dead. No palm trees. It's just the stalks of those. What's that going to look like? Tomorrow when you get up, look at how many trees you see, and bushes and shrubs and grass. Pay attention to that, because here shortly we're not going to see any of it. And that's not me being macabre. That's what the word says. You said, I'd have an eerie feeling just seeing that. And where do you hide? Bushes help you hide. Trees help you hide. Vines help you hide. Where will you hide? You said, yes, a lot of trees around my house. That would be strange. So these words seem small. It don't seem like, oh, okay. Ain't no fruit, ain't no vegetation. Oh, okay. What about stuff like sea kelp that they be making in the pickles, and all seaweed, all of those different things? Who eats seaweed in here? Or sea kelp or whatever it's called. The sea pickles. Anybody in here eat that? You do? Anybody else eat seaweed or sea kelp? You eat seaweed? What about y'all? Your kid does. You sometimes. Anybody else? You said it would look like life has drained from nature. Come on. You said I have a whole forest in my backyard. I can't even imagine it bare. Okay, sister. Those seaweed flakes in the packs. Okay. Won't be none of that either. Because that's vegetation. So you think about how many cultures depend on stuff like seaweed. There's all different kinds depending on the region that you're in. But that's a vital part of their diet every day. Because seaweed is high in iron and different nutrients and all of that kind of stuff. What happens to the people that eat that with every meal? Normally, if you see African dishes or even Indian dishes, they have banana leaves and different things that they eat, all the different, none of that will be there. Malnourished. You said it would change people's way of sustainability. Here we go. Okay. Simple words. I need some more of that. The coral sea is already dying and looks sad. Interesting. Interesting. So look, it says the earth will withhold its fruit and the mountains their vegetation. So we know that that's a big deal. It says a sound will be heard from heaven, and there will be horrors and chasms in the mountains. There will be terrors and commotion here and there. I'm going to read that again. A sound will be heard from heaven, and there will be horrors and chasms in the mountains. There will be terrors and commotion here and there. How many of you think that that could be the beings that they've been hiding in the bases in the mountains? Aren't most of the military research bases in the mountains, deep down underground? And how many times do we see movies where whatever it is that's been in the ground somehow gets out and starts to wreak havoc on humanity? It's crazy. I just learned that trying to figure out how to help my vegetables. I had no idea how much healthy how healthy it was. Seaweed, yeah. Yeah. It has a lot of iodine and all kinds of stuff. Did God tell us what's been hidden in the earth was gonna come out at the end times? He said that, right? Where's the manticore thing coming from? Ain't that supposed to be coming from the thing with the stinger on it? Ain't that coming from the inside of the earth? You think it's the only thing down there? If he said that men's hearts are going to be given out with fear from the things that are about to be revealed, not just the fire and bombs and all of that, what else you think coming out? Now that the chasms are opening up, and we've been seeing that a chasm is a sinkhole, some type of crevice that was previously sealed. If God allowed us to learn about all these other things, what do you think is coming out of there? No, especially after watching God of War video game, it's a lot in between. Oh, okay. You said creatures. Ain't we going on 2 years of them doing human animal hybrids? They start doing that. They told us in 24, 25. Everything we think ain't real is made up. Oh, everything we saw in the movies and so much more. Oh, okay. All right. I just want to see if you see what I see. Because he didn't have us study all this for nothing. Here we go. It says, with the light of lightnings and in the sound of thunder. So there's going to be crazy lightning and crazy thunder. Do we normally see a lightning storm right before the aliens or whatever craziness that's about to do the world? We always see a crazy lightning storm, right? And they say that's not possible. Lightning shouldn't strike there twice. What the heck? And they just start seeing lightning and then everybody is running. You said that's happening now. We seeing a lot of lightning storms with no wind, no rain, no storm, just lightning. So that's happening right now. Because when I was little, we either saw the lightning prior to the rain or during the rain. It was not just lightning in the sky and wasn't nothing else going on. It was storm clouds coming Now it just be lightning. Hello. Do y'all remember lightning storms when y'all was little? Because I don't. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't none, but I used to always be looking. If it was lightning, it was raining or getting ready to rain. You said you can feel the difference every year. It's getting stronger. Interesting. Interesting. All right. It says the clouds of heaven will be rolled up. The clouds of heaven gonna be rolled up. You said bright, and the lightning is not like regular light. On this lightning is stronger, brighter, and more powerful. So I can imagine when Dad comes that part. All right. So ain't gonna be no clouds. Y'all ever seen a wall of clouds? Now they're called electric storms. I've seen lightning storms in Texas when I was younger. Okay, not me. And it wasn't no rain or nothing else? Because, baby, if it was lightning and thundering and all of that, it was a storm coming where I was. No rain. Interesting. Interesting. Well, you got to see something I didn't see, honey, because when we saw lightning, we knew to get our tails in the house because it was about to fall down. Y'all get bad lightning storms too. Interesting. I remember in Texas, lightning, it was storming when I was young. Interesting. Well, they always show us where y'all lightning is coming from in New York. You watched Ghostbusters, didn't you? You said here in Louisiana, the weather's so crazy, we don't know what's going to happen. It's like we get everything in one day at once. Oh, okay. I remember watching them when I was younger. I remember. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm a rain person. And where I was, if we saw lightning, maybe it was a storm coming. But I also lived in Tornado Alley, so that could be why. I don't know. But if we saw lightning, it was a storm coming. And my mama was about to open up all the windows. And she's probably going to start cleaning. hmm Even if you didn't want your window open, it was going to get open. I need to make me some coffee. I don't think I put my straw down in here. Good enough. Okay. So some of y'all grew up seeing lightning storms. I did not. But we seeing a lot more of them now. Right? Unnatural lightning almost. Pink lightning and all of these other colors that everybody keep looking up at the sky at, right? Or no? You see videos all the time online now of people paying more attention to the clouds, the sky, the stars, happenings in the heavens. Okay. It says heavenly angels will appear on earth like human beings. You said when we were out riding, checking on cattle and seen lightning and thunder, we bolted to the barn as fast as your horses could run because we knew a downpour was following right behind. That's how it was where I live too. You said, yep, did that in the country. Open up the house to air it out. Okay. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all see that? It says heavenly angels will appear on earth like human beings. My grandma didn't play because she said it came through the window and danced on the stove. Listen, in real life. Yeah, I believe it. Especially back in the day, they used to have the metal roofs and all that kind of stuff too. Yeah, I can see it happening. So during this time, it's going to be people on the planet that are not people. You think that's why they telling us the aliens been here now? Even though God already told us, just just because they look human don't mean that they are. Hmm. Okay. Can heavenly angels be dark angels as well? Because where do Lucifer and his brothers reside? Where is their abode? In darkness. But where is that darkness at? He's called the prince of the what? Air. Lucifer is the prince of the air. So if he's the prince of the air, right, that means that even him coming from whatever level he's in the heavens is still above us and his brothers as well. He said that there's kingdoms, okay, in heavenly places or in high places, okay, where the prince of darkness, the prince of the air, him and his homeboys have kingdoms. Did he not say that? Right? They wouldn't be dukes and all of that. Who remembers that study in the demons? There's kingdoms, not just one. And he said there spiritual wickedness in high places. So, right. So it didn't say good heavenly angels are bad. It just said angels are going to come from the heavenly places to earth and look like humans. Can I ask you a question? Do you think that that's going to be another good reason to understand? And you said, I remember the first time you taught that it's up, not down. Blew my mind. Listen, so you could literally in this time be talking to a demon and you wouldn't know it. During this time that we're reading about, when the vegetation is drying up, when there's lightning storms, when the chasms are opening up in the mountains, when the vegetation is drying up, there's no fruit on the earth, all of that, you might not even be talking to a human. What? You're going to need to ask specific questions. Not that demons won't lie, but that also gives you courage that some of the people that you run into could possibly be a good angel that's going to protect you, but you'll need to know the difference. This is a war between light and dark, and it's about souls. Hello. We want won't just be fighting a natural war against human beings. It is going to literally be, you said, okay, so death is the angel that works for the Lord in the highest places of heaven. Okay, understood. Well, all of them really would, because they, even the evil demons, if God make them do something, they got to do it. But Lucifer is not the death angel. Mm-mm. Well, that's a song, but we'll leave it. Okay. Anyway, here we go. It says, at that time, a pillar of fire will appear from heaven and will reach to the ground. The earth will be dark for many days. The sun will not rise, nor the moon traverse the sky, and the stars will not be seen. So, you know how when you go to a stadium and they have that light, the blue, red, whatever color it is, and it shines straight up into the clouds until you can't see it no more? It's going to be a heavenly one of those. But the moment that that touches down on the ground, we're not going to be able to see no stars in the sky. Okay? The moon ain't going to move. What the heck? That's a different level of darkness. Mind you, this happens after the heavenly beings are now walking on earth. There's no fruit, there's no vegetation to hide from. Chasms of fire maybe is opening up everywhere. Earthquakes are happening. How strong mentally and spiritually do you think you're going to have to be able to stay positive in a situation like that? How much faith do you think you're going to need in order to stay positive and believe that God is going to protect you in a situation like that? You said, is that why I said that everyone around the world will see it because it's going to be dark? Hello. People will be hungry and their minds will be more visible, spiritually interesting. All your faith and a ton. I can't even fathom all that right now because we have life so easy right now. Okay. Yeah. Boy, that's itchy. I already know this about to come off in just a minute. Ooh. Does this sound like the rapture is coming and you gonna have to miss this? Is that what this sounds like to you? You said it's mind blowing to think of what it's gonna be like then, right? Do this sound like, ooh, saints, the rapture bus is coming and we not gonna have to suffer at all? Is that what this sound like? Or do this sound like trials and tribulations? Do this sound like something that you would have to endure to the end and have courage through? Cause if you getting on the rapture boat, you don't gotta endure nothing. If you getting raptured up out of here, there would be no need for you to endure, like Revelation tells us. Oh, okay. Sounds like building a soldier. Oh, okay. Okay, I just wanted to know. All right. Crazy. It says, and the stars will not be seen. In these times, the towns of the sea will be covered, and the cities will be engulfed in the seas. This is why discernment is going to be necessary. Yes, sister. Hello. You hear me? In these times, the towns of the sea will be covered, and the cities will be engulfed in the seas. What does that mean? What does that mean? Atlantis all over again. Tsunamis and flooding. So, does it matter if you have a boat? Will it matter if you're on an island that's not connected? The sea is going to swallow up. Ooh, the city's up. So, is this why the scripture says some people going to leave the mainland and go to the island? And then the people on the island is going to run to the mainland? Matter of fact. Hold on for more. We have a bombshell right now. The billionaires are finalizing their tax cuts on their bunkers that they built inside mountains and underneath. My ex is in charge of one of them. I won't mention the billionaire he works for. And he offered to have me come stay in one. And I said no. In fact, I said, fuck no. Okay, Grandma, you didn't have to. And it wasn't enough. Here we go. These billionaires have their bunkers. I was just in New Zealand, and that's the place where they've all decided to build their bunkers. And I actually learned for the first time why they all chose New Zealand. It's because there was an analysis of where if nuclear bombs detonate, like the probability of where they would detonate. When you look at the map of the blast radius, New Zealand is almost always outside of that blast radius, so that's why they're building their bunkers there. You know, like that, they will be fine. However the world ends, they're going to exist outside of that, and that's why they can exist in this space where they neither have any kind of moral responsibility for actually ushering in a better world, and nor do they have any ramifications for not taking on that responsibility. It's this strange
as I say, learned helplessness, which seems to define the ruling class of our age, which is so strange because on the one hand, they have this Promethean rhetoric about master of the universe, we're going to change everything, but fundamentally, actually, they think we can't really change anything and we're victims of circumstance. All of us are victims of circumstance. What do you think explains that?
So they're already on in New Zealand, building bunkers. Okay. That sounds like the show Fallout, them picking and choosing who get to go inside the bunkers. Of course. Of course. Remember we studied about the seed bank and where it is, and they got all the seeds from all the way around the world, all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the. Remember, we did that way back in the beginning. They already got people that have come up missing that are already selected for to live underneath, and they are already accustomed to being under there, so that they can restart the world. Remember, we did these classes back in the beginning. Like that show Paradise. That's it got canceled. They said it's too much. Oh, I believe it. You talking too much. You can't tell them what we about to do just right now. So when you think about this and you think about they trying to prepare to avoid God's wrath, can you do that? This stuff has been written in stone and on scrolls for thousands of years. God told Adam what was going to happen at the end. He told you can't avoid God's wrath. This is probably why he's saying, okay, if you go back to where we was at, the beginning of this says, a sound will be heard from heaven, and there will be horrors and chasms in the mountains. That was the first part that we read. A sound will be heard from heaven, and there will be horrors and chasms in the mountains. They're building their bunkers in the mountains. A chasm is a huge hole, a sinkhole. You said no because the grounds are they're gonna get it too. Exactly. Think about this now. That was the first part of what we read is that the mountain's gonna open up. So all of the structures that they have built underground are gonna be torn to pieces. Hello. So they're trying to build impenetrable fortresses, and they don't even know. God said, "Yeah, that's the first thing I'm gonna break open. The mountains. They just gonna crumble and open up." Almost like God saying, "Peekaboo, nigga, I see you." You thought you was gonna hide. You won't be hiding nowhere, baby. Listen. Mm-mm-mm. It says many places will be struck by snakes. Many places will be struck by snakes. What we've been talking about for the last month or so. Oh, we did. We just talked about all the snakes showing up and why. Where is all these snakes coming from, and why is the snakes and the snakes and the snakes? Uh huh, Michael. Right. That's why I said we're gonna go on and keep breathing. Here we go. Also, many people will go down by the sword. We know that's gonna be gun violence. And many cities will be subdued into paying tribute. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear what it said? And many cities will be subdued into paying tribute. What movie is that from? Hunger Games. Interesting. And at that time, they was fighting for food because food wasn't so plentiful, wasn't it? And the cities was ravaged, so they was all in camps and whatnot. Everybody was poor except for the super rich. He said we went fishing this weekend and the snakes already shed, and snakes don't usually shed their skin till mid-July. Interesting. Oh, that's making the hair on my body stand up just talking about them. Okay. Yeah, I heard that. Snakes don't normally shed their skin till mid-July, and they're already shedding skin, which means the seasons, they don't even know what's going on around here. Okay. Villages and hamlets will burn with fire. In these times, wrath will abound on earth, and deception will increase in the world. Sin will abound on earth, and evil will put forth its head. Only some, a few, will be left in the midst of the earth. Did you hear that? Hold on. I'm going to read that again. Only some, a few, will be left in the midst of the earth. Who remembers us reading when it said a man is going to be happy to see a man walking on the road because he ain't seen no humans in a while? They going to be happy to hear a human voice because they ain't heard nobody talk in a while. Hello. It ain't about to be a lot of people on this planet. Just like in the end of the world movies, that the standoff and whatever, and all of these different shows. Okay. Winds and misfortunes will abound and will go forth to cause trouble on earth and to corrupt it. In those times, wisdom will abound on earth, and false prophets and deceiving teachers will teach all kinds of things. Hello. They're going to be telling people whatever. And that's just like in the book of Eli. He wanted the Bible so that he could control the people, whether what he was saying was right or not. He was willing to kill to get the book. And during that time, folks was eating people. They was SAing folks. They was blowing folks up, unaliving folks. The highways was gone. It wasn't a lot of water around, and all of these different things. Think about it. No electricity for real. It was lawless. Man. Who will be there in those days of wise men and scribes, those mentioned above, who will resemble the kingdom of heaven? This kingdom will not be revealed to them, rather, it will be hidden from them. The truth will be revealed to those who seek it. So it's going to be people looking, okay? But you're going to have to know where to look for it. It ain't just going to be available to everybody. It's going to be some wise folks, but you're going to have to look for them far and wide. Go on an adventure trying to get to somebody who knows what's actually going on. Because people are going to be so deceived, they're not going to understand. They're not going to know. They're going to be believing whatever somebody say. That's the good thing about what God has allowed us to do here, to sit. And even though this mess is so scary, I ain't gonna call it mess. This is scary to read and to think about, that there's no vegetables, there's no vegetation, there's no trees and water, and cities have been flooded, and all of that is scary to think about. It's scary to think about the mountains opening up, but it's a reality. And it's one that we cannot avoid unless we on our way out of here in the next few whatever. You're gonna see some of this stuff. It ain't no rapture boat that you about to get on and just, God said the world, listen. Ooh. In those days there will be tumult day and night. High places will fall, and many people will perish. High buildings will be cast down, and will become graves for their inhabitants. Did you hear that? Hmm. In those days there will be tumult day and night. High palaces will fall, and many people will perish. High buildings will be cast down and will become graves for their inhabitants. What does that mean for the people that live in high rises? Penthouses. Huh? What does that mean? Places like Dubai and China, the all the Chicago, the skylines, all of those places, buildings will collapse on the people living in them. Come on. Does that sound like a pretty sight to you? Me either. Lord, my aunt lives on the 19th floor in Brooklyn. Listen, sister. Many villages will be tossed into the sea, and their inhabitants will go out in the flood. Let me ask you a question real quick while I run to the restroom. Do a Google search of how many people worldwide live in coastal cities and on islands that are completely surrounded by water. Either coastal cities around the world, how many people live in the coastal areas around the world, off the coast of wherever. You can do Africa, wherever, and then do, if it'll bring up a number, and let's see exactly what that looks like. Because it already said that the water was going to overtake the cities. So, what does that look like? How many people around the world live off the coast? What we got? 39 million people in California live in coastal areas. 39 million? More than 2 billion people live within 50 kilometers of the world's. Wait a minute, why you take it off? Globally, over 2 billion people, about 29% of the world's population, live within 50 kilometers or 31 miles of a shoreline of the world's cities. With over 1 million residents, more than half are coastal, housing the majority of the global urban population. San Francisco has 9 million. Even more concentrated, over 1 billion people. Y'all are making the hair on my body stand up. Over 1 billion people, about 15% of the global population, live extremely close within 10 kilometers of the water. High risk zones, 5 kilometers from the water. Nearly 750 million people live here, putting them at the highest exposure to sea level rise and climate related risk. Mm. The Atlantic coast is 49.5 million residents, and the Pacific coast is 35.4 million residents, and the Gulf of Mexico is 18.2 million residents. Meant to say 7 million, not 9 million. It's okay. Still a lot of people. Asia, home to over 4.9 billion people, a massive portion of Asia's population, particularly in countries like China, India, Bangladesh, and Indonesia, live in coastal deltas and port megacities. Interesting. Does that make that pop up off the page what we just read? Do you see how that's doable? Roughly 600 million people, a number that is rapidly rising due to coastal urbanization. Interesting. Does that make this pop up off the page? Because we can say, oh, okay, floods, but how many bodies is that if the water rises 20 feet or 30 feet because of extreme weather? Most of my family is South Florida, live 2 miles or less from the Atlantic Ocean. I still have a house there. I can walk to the beach. Interesting. Low elevation, coastal zones less than 10 meters above sea level. Interesting. It's okay. So when you see right here, when it says many villages will be tossed into the sea and their inhabitants will go out into the flood. Do you see how that can happen? 160 million people live with or near coastal regions in South America. Interesting. Are those numbers staggering to you? Because we talk about the population going away, but God gives a detailed uh plan on how it's going to happen. You said, yes, I remember looking up my address at the time to see how it would be if Florida went under. And the two highest points was one in Central Florida, and the other one was in the Panhandle. You said that's why I didn't move to Florida. More than half my family went there. The movie Titanic don't come near as much people as this. Yeah. So you leave the coastal and go to the mountains. Then the mountains fall apart. There's no physical safe place. Right. Right. In book two, where we was at last night, Miss Moore. You said I'm the only one left in South Carolina. Wow. I mean, y'all know what? The weather is changing in here. Let me go get a little something on my shoulders. That's crazy. Does that make you think of the day after tomorrow? Reading that? Does that make you think about the day after tomorrow? You wonder where they get this from. You said, yep, family in the islands and Florida. Interesting. Those are some crazy numbers. They are. We wonder about how it says, oh, this many people is going to die at this time. This and people like, I don't want to think about that. It doesn't matter what you want to think about. You're going to see it. So you want to kind of be able to envision what's going to visualize what's going to go on, so you can prepare your mind. If every continent is surrounded by water, nowhere is safe. Here we go, nephew. Here we go. There's a map online that you can look at the projects. What areas, the projections, and what areas will eventually be underwater. All of Florida and some of Georgia and some and South Alabama will be gone. Interesting. Hey, she not me. Here we go. See, these sound like little bitty phrases that, oh, okay. You said you looking outside. Come on. It's a sobering reality that God is getting ready to destroy this earth. And people, again, who would have ever thought that no vegetation and no fruits and vegetables would affect our ecosystem the way that it's going to? Okay? What's crazy is about 71% of the Earth's surface is water, while the ocean holds about 96.5% of all the Earth's water. Here we go. Here we go. Is y'all eyes opening up a little bit bigger now? I gotta go out and come back in. Okay. Okay. Here we go now. It says in those times there will be there will in those times there will skip they don't some of this is not written right. In those times it's I think it's supposed to say there will be scarcity on earth and much oppression. You said this is why you told years ago it won't matter if you move to Ghana because I told you it won't matter if you move to Ghana because there was going to be global reckoning. Right. Right. You can move wherever you want to. It ain't gonna matter. It's gonna be everywhere. Right. Hey. Okay. So listen now. I realize they got some errors in here. It says in those times, it's supposed to say there will be scarcity on earth and much oppression. People will be robbing and plundering what does not belong to them. Why are they gonna be doing that? Hmm. Why will people be robbing and you said they doing that now, greed. But it's saying at this time there's going to be scarcity and oppression because they didn't listen. Huh? You said no what and no food. You said because they didn't prepare, they don't have nothing. Man, very badly too. Oh, okay. No money. Okay. You said because of hunger, famine, and they did not heed the warning, they not prepared. Interesting. Because they didn't get their stuff. Did we talk about this? About you not gonna be able to let everybody in your house? They're gonna be scared and hungry. Did we talk about it already? Nothing and nowhere to hide. Interesting. I didn't rub this flash off. We did. Okay. All right. It says error will abound on earth. Why is that important? And just so y'all know, I already did read this. I don't want y'all thinking I'm just making up stuff as I go along. I already read it. But we just going through bit by bit. Why is error abounding on earth very important? This goes way back to the old days. Tell me. This goes back to the very beginning of our classes. Error. Tell me why. The fallen angels. Okay, keep going. Okay. If you have your book one OTP, can you go to page 970 and start reading at the top and tell me when you see it when you see it? If you got your regular OTP, book one, I need you to go to page 970 and it should start off of this world of darkness. And tell me what you see. Keep your other book out. But if you have your original yellow book, go to page 970 and tell me what you see. Hey Jim. Tell me what you see. I don't need no more coffee. Page 970. What you see there? I am error. And error is one of what? Interesting. And he's a demon, a spirit, but what specific kind? The first, I am deception. The second, I am strife. The third, I am the fate. I'm going to read it. It says, again, I glorify God who gave me this authority, and I commanded another demon to appear before me. There came 7 spirits bound together, hand and foot, fair of form and graceful. When I, Solomon, saw them, I was amazed and asked them, who are you? And they replied, we are heavenly bodies, rulers of this world of darkness. So if error is on the earth at that time, guess who else is here? Well, we already saw deception was here. We already know strife because people gonna be fighting with each other. The Lord already told us about the fate of all of these people. Distress is gonna be on the earth. Error is gonna be here. Power is gonna be here because it said that people were gonna be oppressed, and then the worst. Didn't even know it was gonna take you all the way back to the beginning. Cause if error is on earth, we already read deception. We already read this. So we will know that when error shows up, the rulers of darkness, and it just said that the earth was about to be darkened, that heavenly beings was gonna be coming down looking like human beings on earth. Hello. We just read it. Did we not? And I ask y'all, where do Satan be? Where is him and his brother's kingdoms at? Where is it? Leading people into error. Come on, Michael. But it's not just going to be error. Ain't that crazy? See, we learned about these people all the way in the beginning. These beings, right? The rulers of darkness. We literally learned about them. Who they are, what their names are. And they going to be here at the end times doing what they do. And it makes sense because when you go back and you read and you look up the definition for each one of those things, and right now we're reading about more end time calamities and natural disasters. Does that make sense that they would be on earth ruling at that time? You said error because people cause people to stray from belief. Error has to come back to fulfill revelation. Yes, it does. Hello. But error is connected. Remember, these are, if you was to take the paper and fold it up and cut out, they connected like that. Like the gingerbread people on a string. Remember, it says they're connected. It's 7 spirits, but they're connected on, like, they move as one, but it's 7 different ones. So if error is here, then we know that all of those other spirits that were named prior to error and after error are here as well, walking on the earth. Hmm. Strife. We know that's going to be here because people are going to be fighting against each other. Deception, because the Antichrist is getting ready to try to deceive the people into thinking that he is the Christ. Fate, we can't avoid what's coming. Nobody can. Not even in the rapture. If you supposed to die in a coastal city, you're gonna die in a coastal city. If you're supposed to die where the chasms is opening up, like where CERCA is in Missouri, and there was another sinkhole that opened up in a parking lot, yeah, it's the chasms. If you up in the mountains and they open up, or there's a landslide, that's your fate. Hmm. Do you think the world is going to be deceived when they say if you take this mark, you can eat and you don't have to worry about none of the stresses that are coming? You don't have to worry about where you're going to live and what you're going to drink and all of that. Did y'all see? Error has an angel that thwarts him. Yep, that sounds familiar from our other class. Oreo, like Oreo. Did y'all see they about to start selling the water? They're selling the water on the Nasdaq and the stock exchange now because they said water is about to make them more money than gold and oil did. Did y'all see? Larry, whatever his name is, from BlackRock, put it on the Nasdaq. So they've been buying up all the water and the water. Yes. You wonder why God had us get water filtration.
Strange juxtaposition. Water is now being traded on the NASDAQ just like oil. Okay, it is. Water is now being traded on the NASDAQ just like oil. Okay, it is. Look it up for yourself. Listen to this. The next big shortage is going to be water. There's a reason why Richard Branson, Bill Gates, and a few others own 40% of all the mineral rights in the United States. Who want the water rights? Soon, a cup of water like this is going to be more than a gallon of gas. Now, while we were distracted with other things, there's a danger that nobody's.
He held up a coffee mug and said, "A cup of water, a coffee mug full of a cup of water is going to be more than a gallon of gas." That's what, 6 ounces? Most coffee cups is 6 ounces, 8 ounces. That's half of this because this 16.9. Could you imagine me pouring you this much water and saying $6, please? You can barely wash your hands with this much water. Could that be part of the scarcity that we just read about as to why people gonna be robbing? Girl, just like the book of Eli. 4 years ago, when God was telling us to get water purification tablets and water filtration systems, and everybody called us crazy, and now they are trading water on the NASDAQ, the purge for real. Do you feel crazy about buying as many water purification tablets and ways to filter water as you can? Because if you don't have no money, you're not going to be able to get no filtered water to bathe, to flush your toilet, or to drink or cook in just 4.5 years. So was you crazy for buying them? Did God tell us? And you don't even get the whole bottle, Orvaline. 6 ounces. This is 16.9. So it ain't even a whole. Could you imagine this much water right here? Not this top part, this. You said it's really time to stop playing with. Girl, Amazon has purification tablets, life straws, and yes, I know. On sale for Prime Day. Right. But I'm just saying. Come on, Miss Howard. Who remembers us talking about getting some charcoal and sand and gravel so that we can filter water? Because we're going to need it. Who remembers us talking about taking as many hot baths as we can? Because in a minute, we're not going to be able to. We're going to have to take bird baths. That's why we got portable showers. Who remembers these conversations? He said, man, we go through a case of water a day around here. This is why I'm tripping. Oh, I know. I can do a case in about 2 days by myself. No more than 3. Y'all thought I was tripping when I said I'm trying to take all the baths I can right now while we have hot water. Not just because of the electricity, but because I already knew I was going to have to be taking bird baths. Hello. He said, I saw where women in a desert land use plastic on lines to catch water. Uh-huh. However, we going to be able to get it, but think about it. The air is going to be toxic, so we going to have to filter it. Because it ain't going to be no vegetation to filter the air. It's going to be a whole bunch of carbon in the air. Ain't no fruits and vegetables going to be. Remember, I don't know if you was here for that part, T. Is it coming together for y'all a little bit about how serious this is and why God would not let us play with blowing money and buying stuff that we didn't need for the last 4.5 years? You said, right. So everything is making sense to me now. Oh, okay. You all right, Pumpkin? Huh? When folks said we was super extreme and we was doing too much, do you feel like you was? To those of you that have been keeping your lint and your whatever else, it said it's gonna be so dark you ain't gonna be able to see nothing. The moon is gonna go away, the stars are gonna go away. You think it's gonna be important to have some lint to start a fire so you can see? We gonna use the sun as long as we can to charge our stuff. But once it ain't nothing, where you gonna get your light from? How many of y'all got some kerosene lamps? You said I ain't doing enough, nephew. How many of y'all went and got the jug of kerosene and the little $10 lamps when we could, and then they raised the price on them? It's deadly serious. I'm seriously grateful. Come on. Okay. You bought some manteca so you can make some lard candles if you need to. You bought kept your stranger your cooking oil so you can put even dirty water in there and put your little oil on top and take you a cotton t-shirt and roll it up and dip it in some wax and make you a ever burning candle. Hello. The vegetation not right because the air not right to be not to be right, which makes the water not right. Here we go. You picking it up, sis. Hello. You said yes, it's scary seeing everything coming to pass. When just 4 years ago we read about all of this and now it's really happening. This part just made candles and gave them as gifts for Father's Day. Come on. Mind you, these were this what we reading was written thousands of years ago. And I'm not talking about one or two. Hello. How is it that what was written 3, 4, 5,000 years ago is happening right now in 2026? People say it always happened, not like this, not simultaneously, not all at the same time. No, it doesn't. Hello. Who understands the fervor that I had 4 years ago when I used to be begging people? Please listen to me if you love your family. I know you don't know me from Adam, but I'm telling you, God does not lie to me. And when He tells me to prepare for something, it doesn't matter if it's one day, 6 months, a year, 3 months, 5 years, baby. It's going to come to pass, all of it. Did you ever think that water would be traded on the stock exchange? Water. Did you ever think that they would be telling people in cities you can't use your water? Not even a drop of it. In our time, maybe 20 years, but not in 2026. Hello. You said we celebrate our heritage in August every year. We call it Crow Fair, known as the TP capital of the world. We did it to celebrate, but we're gonna live like this is every day soon. Uh-huh. It is mind blowing. It is. Let's keep going. I ain't gonna keep y'all because it's already 11. Here we go. Let's get through here. Mhm. It says true things will be deemed lies and lies will be believed. Is this happening right now? You said, let me get back on my job preparing. You said more and more family friends are texting, talking about where you at. Can I come visit? Nope. I'm trying to tell you, no, I don't need no visitors. Not a one. Mm-mm. Did you hear this? So listen now. It says error will abound on earth. True things will be deemed lies, and lies will be believed. Do you think a lie that is being believed right now is you do not have to prepare for what's coming? Even though God said there's not going to be any vegetation, there's going to be fire. And this is in the regular Bible. This ain't even in the lost books. That it's not going to be no food, that a whole bunch of people going to die, that a third of the plant life is going to die, a fourth of the plant life, a fourth of the ocean life is going to die, a fourth of the animals on land and the fowls of the air are going to die. Do you think that even though the Bible says that, and we have people saying, I don't have to worry about any of that because God is going to take care of me, do you think that that's foolish? Not saying that God can't take care of you, but if He's already telling you that a third of the plant life is going to die, the air quality is not going to be good, the heavens are not going to rain. It says that the dew and the water, the rain will be withheld. This is in the KJV. How does that not equate to I need to learn how to collect as much water as I can? I need to start trying to uh learn how to sow seeds in the ground and grow stuff, even if it's just eating off the plant greens. You know what I'm saying? If I don't got time to wait, you can take the tops of carrots and eat the carrot greens and all of that. I don't know how that doesn't translate that to you. Do you believe the word or not? The Bible says that these things are going to go away. You ain't going to be able to fish because the water is going to be so toxic from all of the, a third of all of the aquatic life is going to die at one time. Do you know how many little fish and plankton and shrimp and big whales and sharks and all the schools of fish and all of the coral that's alive, and that's a part of all the marine life, the aquatic life. Hello. And all of those things keep the ocean at the pH it needs to be at, and all of these different things in order for everything to be able to live the way that it needs to, so that we can get what we need out of the ocean. You said, I remember we talked about it, and the smell. Come on. Come on. God had Joseph, but he still, you said God had Joseph, but he still did what he did. You said, yes. I just made the greens from my squash, radish, and zucchini with sauteed onions this evening. Oh, that sounds good. Never had it, but it sounds good. It sounds real good. See? She already working on it. You hear me? Using what we got, stuff we've been throwing away and taking for granted. God said, oh, okay. My thing is, they don't believe the word to prepare, but come to us for help. Not us, you. My family, I already know. Don't even try it. I don't even get no friend. Because I've been telling them even way before I met y'all. So during the C word, I was telling everybody and they didn't believe me. And then when the stores was empty, I told y'all this. They was looking for bread. They was like, where you get bread at? I made it. And I already had like 20 loaves in the refrigerator, in the freezer, because God told me that this was about to happen. So I started preparing. Well, where you get your meat from? I've been grinding it up. Remember, y'all told me I was doing too much? No, no, no. I got about 200 pounds of ground turkey, and I got turkey legs and pork chops and chicken wings and all kinds of stuff. Sausage I done made. And if I want to make me some sausage, I got the meat to do it, and I got the sausage stuffer and the casing. So, I mean, you know, hello. You said, but it was really good. I know it was, trying to prep my taste buds in advance. That part. Yeah. When I kept telling everybody, God told me famine was coming in 2019. We need to get ready. They was like, nigga, there ain't nobody. I said, oh, okay. God keeps telling me them stores about to be empty. Your kids ain't gonna be going to school, and everybody about to be at home. And that's exactly what happened. Hello. But he had been prepping me for it since 2017. May. So May, June 2017. He told me start gardening. I had never had a garden before. He said, start gardening, learn how to process food. That's when I started all of that. Hello. Heavily. I had started learning to make stuff from scratch years prior, but that part of it, storing up, couponing, I never did. And I was not about to spend no coupons. Baby, I'm about to go get what I want and go home. Baby, I was couponing like crazy. Every Sunday, I was going and buying papers, getting all the apps. If you could get some money back on it to go and go towards something else, baby, I was doing it. And I'm happy I did. I didn't even think about that. No sun, no working solar. Right. 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 Right, right, right. Right. That's why we got the wood burning stoves. Yeah, and we've been making candles and stuff. That's why we learned to make candles, and yeah, that's why. You said yes, I be couponing now and love it. Yeah, save you some money. Hello, it's a little bit of work at first, but once you get it down, you said, listen, you said me so happy. Listen, this part. Mm, listen, here we go. It says, truth will vanish from the earth, and the kings of the earth will lie, and its judges will be changed in order to change a righteous judgment for dishonest riches. That's happening right now. They are easy to make. They are very easy to make. Hello. Is that happening right now? People will make a person guilty for money, even though the person ain't guilty, and they will let we know because we know somebody right now. Um, because he rich, he got 74 felonies, but he ain't been in jail or 34, however many. My son friend was over today, turned off the light and the light bulb stayed on. He came to me like, "What's going on?" I said, "Those are emergency lights." He was so amazed. He said he got to get some. Come on, girl, put them on. He like, "Wait a minute. The light is out and the light is on, right?" That's what happened when you have Jesus in your house. The lights go out, but they stay on. Uh-huh. You should have told him. That's the Jesus in this house, baby. Ain't no darkness in here at no time. We gotta say something crazy like that. It is happening now. It is. All right. It says the world will be hard pressed by its sins, and all of its dwellings and towns will be in an uproar. All okay, go back. The world will be hard pressed by its sins. The world, not one group of people, not one area, not one continent, the world. And all of its dwellings and towns will be in an uproar. And villainy will appear on the walls of their towers. Hold on. So did it say a few people or did it say the whole world is going to be filled and the whole world is going to be in an uproar? Did it say only the sinners or did it say the whole world? Okay. Hmm. Good evening. What did it say? The whole world and every city is going to be in an uproar. So where will you go? Does that make sense as to why God said you might need to get all your stuff so you can stay in and act like you're not there? If every city in the world and every town in the world is going to be in an uproar, how do you combat that? We, God told us to prepare to stay in and prepare to bug out. How many of y'all got tents and carts where you might have to pull just your bare necessities or some type of trailer or something to where stay in and prepare, stay out of the way? Oh, that's why God told us to buy this kind of stuff to put on the windows so you can see them before they see you. And if you do have on some lights, they can't see the lights in there. We was doing too much. But now that we know people gonna be pillaging and robbing, and water gonna be $19 for 6 ounces, and you need water to cook rice and cook your food and wash up and clean and poop. Oh, oh, you said push pull wagon for all the necessary items. We have. You said if we have to go, come on. Tent still gotta give me a wagon. Come on, God gonna put it in your way, sister. Listen. Okay. It says people will be filled with falsehood and will talk fornication and injustice. We know that there's a lot of SA that happens during these times. People just be doing whatever. You said you need that film. Listen, so we know that that's gonna be a thing. Um, in laziness, they will hasten to repay injustice for righteousness and evil for goodness. So you do a good deed, folks gonna be trying to hurt you. Like let somebody in your house to feed them. Scary, but it's scarcity in the earth. As soon as you get ready to try to do a good deed, they're gonna be trying to think about how they can do you in. Hello. Right. And it's gonna be family members first. Here we go. Also, their kings will be carried off and their truth will be shown to be a lie. Their money, coinage, will be rejected and their pride will be diminished. Why would your money be rejected at a time like this? Hmm? Why would your money be rejected at a time like this? Digital. Okay. What else? Digital is true. Your cash, your coins, right? But what's another reason? It's worthless because of certain thing that you got to do. Oh, okay. The mark. Oh, okay. You said because it would be worthless. You said I would keep my stuff. To heck with your money. Okay. Right. Everything will be shut down. So at that time, if somebody says, "Ooh, I will give you $1 million for this," I think it's 22 pounds of wheat, and there's no food in the stores, you gonna sell it? You ain't seen bread in 6 months, and you got 22 pounds of wheat. And a rich person comes and says, I have these diamonds for you. I have, keep your money. The thing that used to get them whatever they wanted at that time, you're going to be like, no. What good am I going to do with 1 million? Have you seen the world? There's nothing even to spend it on. What good I'm going to do with a yacht and ain't no water? What good is it gonna do for me to have gold and ain't nobody gonna see it? I can't eat it. I can't drink it. I can't bathe in it. It's not gonna keep me warm. Keep all of your rare jewels and diamonds, and it'll be useless. You said you'll be the rich person at that. Mm-mm. You see that they talk about trying to change the law that in order to get a phone line, you got to be a citizen. Did y'all see that? They trying to make it a bill, or they trying to pass the bill. Hello, that you got to be a citizen in order to be able to have a phone line. That's all. Interesting. Was that a thing 4 years ago? That you had to be a citizen in order to have a phone? Did we talk about it though? Did we talk about you're not going to be able to buy gas? You're not going to be able to pay a light bill. You're not going to be able to pay a water bill because if you don't have the digital ID, they won't be taking any cash. We talked about this 4 years ago. So you need to learn how to live without those resources or without those utilities, because you won't be able to purchase them during this time. One of the people that used to be here said, get online and register with said organization so you can use this. I said, well, I won't be doing that. Y'all remember? I said, I won't be doing that. It's going to be in a time of a, no, I won't be doing that. Why would I tell them where to come listen to me at and where and what? Why would, I'm not going to do that. If we about to be in perilous times, I won't be doing any of that. No, I won't be doing any of that actually. No, I'm not going to do that. If we can't pay property taxes, rent, and mortgages, we'll all need tents. This is why we got them. That's why we got them. That's why we got portable ovens and portable toilets, and right. That's why everything we got. When it's time to move, you're gonna have to take what you can get and pray that your house still look abandoned or whatever, and come back and get stuff as you can. We hoping that the same way he told us this stuff was gonna be going early, that he gonna let us know. Okay, it's time to start, hiding stuff and doing whatever you can do to cover your food or whatever else it is, get it out of there or whatever resources you have. That's why I said all of this, I'm enjoying it while I have it, but I'm also getting myself together. This is why we got waterproof boots and this type thing, waterproof shoes, and what you call them things, hammocks, and all of that. That's why we have these things. And now they're offering free phones to the elderly so they can keep their eyes and ears on them. Oh, one other thing, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. But it's gonna hit hard. And of course, I just saw it in now. Oh, here we go. The new memo is one of several attempts to change services. This was yesterday on PBS. And policies dedicated to people with disabilities. The DOJ says states aren't required to provide home and community-based services that have long kept disabled Americans out of institutions if they would benefit from these other services. And as the administration seeks to shutter the Department of Education, it's moving key responsibilities to agencies which disability advocates say are less equipped to handle them. For perspective on what these actions mean for the disability community, I'm joined by Maria Town. She's president and CEO of the American Association of People with Disabilities. Maria, you are on the move today. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I first want to ask about this DOJ memo, which really provides a new interpretation of these existing laws and a Supreme Court decision that reaffirmed what we have understood to this point to be the rights afforded to people with disabilities. Can you just walk us through what those existing statutes are? So in the Americans with Disabilities Act, which turns 36 next month, there is an integration mandate
And the Olmstead decision is a Supreme Court decision that turns 27 years old today, that affirmed the integration mandate in the Americans with Disabilities Act. The Olmstead decision stated that people with disabilities had to be served in the most integrated setting whenever possible. What this means in practice is that states cannot forcibly institutionalize people with disabilities, whether that be in nursing homes, state psychiatric facilities, or in other institutional settings. And so this memo from the Department of Justice, which says that Olmstead is not enforceable, completely goes against all previous legal precedent, and it also goes against the will of Congress and the will of the Supreme Court. So if states no longer feel obligated because of this DOJ legal opinion, which we should mention is not a law, but could have far-reaching implications anyway, if states don't feel obligated to provide these services to people who would benefit from them rather than go into an institution, what does that mean for the people who rely on home and community-based services? This means that people's ability to live in their homes and in their communities and with their families and friends that they love is in jeopardy. If states decide not to follow decades of legal precedent and existing civil rights, it means that people with disabilities may be forced into institutions instead of being provided with services that allow them to thrive in their communities. It may also mean that people's health suffers, and in the worst case scenario, it means people will die. We know that people with disabilities and older adults have better outcomes and live longer lives when they are served in the community and not in institutions. So this could have extremely dire consequences for many people and their families across the country. Separately, Marie.
Did we talk about this? Did we? In 22 and 23, did we talk about that? Did we? We talked about it. And in 2026, they're trying to make it a reality. Four years. It's getting scary and so real. Yes, it is. So, what we talked about possibly happening, hypothetically, none of it was hypothetical in just 4 years. It's all right here. Hello. You said, wait, this got me thinking, is this why they keep trying to push for me to get SSI benefit or SS benefits for my something? We talked about this, see? This, remember when we talked about quit taking on all the diagnoses? Now some of them are, from birth or whatever. But this is why we worked on the diagnosis part. Remember when we started looking up the sicknesses, and this was all a part of that. And then that's when we went and we studied about Hitler and how he took a lot of the disabled people and different people and put them in certain places. Oh yeah. And look, 4 years later, sister, here we are. This is why. So again, it don't matter what the subject is, God started preparing us for it. And people told us, "Oh, y'all got too much over there. Y'all she all over the place." Cause baby, He is telling us word for word everything that they about to be on in the next 5 years. Hello, 2-3 years. Right? You said you right. Let me not answer anymore. Listen, specifically disabled children. We talked about it. We literally talked about it. And here we are, 3-4 years later, and exactly what God told us, exactly what we were studying about, and All of that is right here on PBS, and that was yesterday. That wasn't a week ago. That was yesterday on PBS. One day ago. Okay. I'm about to let y'all go because we got some more in here to read, but it's late. So I know y'all like it took forever just to get through that little bit because we can read it, but can you see it? And even if you see it, do you understand what time we are in when you see it and when you read it? I saw a video of a Esteem victim. She said they keep track of folks, especially those with Nephilim bloodlines with powers. Of course. And folks that know stuff too. Baby, why don't you meet my light? You said it's necessary. I'm thankful for you taking time and not just running through. Sister, good night, pumpkin. Listen, that's why our classes used to have to be so long. And this is why we had to go through all the different everything, baby, because it applies to everything that's going on in the world from one end to the other, from one continent to the other, from one country to the other, from one banking system to the other, from one educational system to the other, from one scientific community to the other, baby. It ain't nothing. He had to study in disease, water, the plant life, everything. And baby, it's all in our news. Hello? Genetic mutations and the like, baby. My heart is breaking for the souls that will be lost. And my chest hurts. I need to go pray this heaviness away. Yes, ma'am. I get it. I do. You said that's another reason I've been thinking about, because of our birth defect and knowing um they all come from the fallen angels. I be overthinking. Yeah, don't overthink. Don't overthink it. But just understand that God knows. And He allowed us to be, He allowed us to be aware, and that's more important than anything. That we are not blinded and the scales are not on our eyes about what's getting ready to happen. And it is a heavy weight sometimes to bear, but you would rather know and recognize what time you in than be caught off guard like most of the world is about to be. But now y'all understand why when I got over here, I used to be like, y'all don't understand the weight that was lifted once y'all started listening and buying and getting your stuff. I walked around with that for a long time, knowing that it's a lot of people that's about to suffer. It's a lot of people that's about to die. Not saying we not all gonna die, but it's a lot of people that's about to suffer because they won't listen. They won't turn. They won't believe. They won't like. You hear me? And now y'all see why I used to be like begging. Please listen. Please, please, please. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, this stuff is coming. It's coming. Oh, it ain't happened yet. They been saying it. Okay, it's happening now. All of it. The half human, half animal hybrids, the weather being out of control, the false Christianity, the everything. All of it is happening right now. The water, okay? The scarcity of the food not being no good, the pestilence. Everything is here. Crazy. He even told us about the boats and what wasn't gonna be coming over and gas, all of that. It's just listen. And every book that we open just solidifies it and confirms what we read in the other ones and gives us more and more detail about what it's gonna be looking like around here. So I'm not gonna keep y'all. I'm about to go find me a snack and get in the bed. Hopefully I get up early enough. I've been getting up early, but I've been spending trying to spend my time with God in the daytime before I get on any social media or be running my mouth and stuff. So I just been sitting and listening to music and writing and reading or whatever it is that He had me doing, reflecting, whatever it is. So I don't know what time we'll get on tomorrow. I also been trying to rest too and calm my mind down because it's a lot going on. And the devil be wanting us to be overwhelmed and overstimulated, and I refuse to be that. You said, when is enough stuff enough? I mean, I don't know. I can't say that. I definitely will pray for your cousin Sarah. She's in a coma? Yes. Please pray for Isabel. We're going to pray for Isabel's. Add that to our prayer list. Isabel's cousin, she is in a coma. Pigs in the parlor. Pigs in the parlor, and he came to set the captives free. Your manual is in there. We're going to pray, but your manual is in there. Don't forget the spirit of coma showed up with Rebecca and Elaine. Remember? We definitely will pray, but that might be your miracle we get to hear about. You said that's why I don't know what it does in the base of it. What you mean? Okay, we definitely gonna pray, but you got some tools that you can use too. Some manuals that you can go looking in. So I love y'all. You said I'm not allowed to visit her. She's in ICU. You don't gotta go where she is to intercede, girl. Isabel, I need you to look up intercession. Intercession. You don't have to be where she at. Remember, go. That's why I said go back and read your book. Because remember, sometimes Rebecca would be at work and God would tell her in her spirit what was going on, and she would intercede at the hospital, and it would help her at home. Get back in your book. I'm reading that now. He came and set the captive straight. Mm-hmm. Talking about your medication, not talking about not medicating my son. Okay, your answers and what you need to do. You ain't gotta be where she at. Hello. Yes, I love you. You're welcome. I'll see y'all later.